We're just going to run through the overall process for submitting DVA claims, talk about the overall process, and then talk about how we do the start bit, which is kind of based in chart review, a pre-claims stage, which is new, a DA request from DVA, which is new, and then buying up the claims in the way that we normally do. I'm just going to run through all that. Stepping back, the overall process is initial liability, where we submit the claims, and the second stage down the track is the permanent impairment stage, which is where you get your points and your money. The initial liability stage has more outputs to it than just compensation. We're trying to facilitate medical discharge, set up the healthcare by getting all the conditions listed on the white card, facilitate early access to your medical pension via that medical discharge process if that's applicable to you, and then compensation, which is via the permanent impairment stage on the right, which is where you get your points and your money, and whether you get white card or gold card. There's 3 different acts. You're not really in control of which acts they come under, and they're determined by the onset date of the condition, with the 1st of July 2004 being the cut-off transition to MERCA, and everything prior to that is either DERCA or VEA. DERCA if it's peacetime, and VEA if it's wartime. In terms of the initial stage of the process, we've got a few steps in that. So basically, you'll send us your med docs, I'll look through them, find all the claims in the med docs, and then after that we'll do an intake, where we get your background info, see where everything's up to. We're up to an overall process because people come in partway through or at different stages of the overall process. Find any additional claims you might want to explore that weren't represented in your med docs. And then we submit those now based on symptom only, so we abstract it a little bit. Within each symptom, there'll be the conditions that were found, but we're just going to submit by a symptom at this stage and get DVA to send a request for more information via a thing called a DIA, which will facilitate us to do more imaging of everything that we need to image to find out what is there and what's not there, and even stuff that's been accepted before. It's worth re-imaging that to get an updated progress to inform the PIA process down the track, but even to find extra claims related to the thing that might have been accepted. And after that, we'll submit claims the way that we used to via that DIA form, and we submit those via condition with a SOP code or an ICD-10 code for things not covered by DVA. At the second stage of the PIA, if we haven't done a chart review, we'll do another chart review. We'll prep the documents prior to the 1 hour appointment with me. I'll have that appointment, we'll discuss the conditions and do the physical examination and work out where you're up to with your impairment points. I'll complete the documentation within the week following. We may need to get imaging at that point. So if we do need to get imaging, we do the work, we hit pause, get the imaging, and then finish the documentation after that. And then imaging is funded by DVA. And at the end of that, we submit that to DVA and we'll CC you as the patient. Looking through the med docs takes me between 30 and 60 minutes. Then we'll do the intake, we'll explore background info, any claims from the med docs, and find new claims that aren't recorded in the med docs. Submit those as pre-claims, which is via symptom. DVA will send in a DIA request form, or what could be called a CIA request. We'll image and investigate, and then we'll submit them via that DIA form by condition, with all the supporting documentation relating to everything to facilitate DVA to accept your claim. And that is it. Thank you. When it comes to what we're going to generate from this process, when we are doing the initial, after we've done intake, we'll be submitting via a symptom. So you can see basically they're submitting by a symptom. We've got it all categorized within each folder. Each one of these is an upload deliverable for that first stage of pre-claims. Within each folder, I will have found the condition, but we're not going to submit that stuff yet. We're just going to submit those 2 documents at the bottom, which is basically things like right elbow pain for investigation and that DVA diagnosis form. that the GP will normally do. The document itself will look like this, basically abstracting the conditions via symptom, saying that we've looked through the med docs and that the condition is probable based on what we have found, submitting the DVA diagnosis form to go with that as well. At the end of that, DVA will publish a thing called a request for more information, at which point we'll image, investigate. Once we've done all that, we will submit via condition. So every tiny thing will go in. We find between 20 to 80 claims per chart, all those sort of things. Within each one of these folders, you've got your deliverable package, which is consult notes, diagnosis form, and screenshots, which is all your supporting documents from the med docs. Again, a diagnosis form and medico-legal report, a different format. This is in the DIA format, based on that document that DVA send out, but our own improved version of that, where we have answered the questions, but then also elaborated at length with regards to the SOPs, talking about what the diagnosis is, how it was identified, how it was confirmed, what are the causes of the condition, and that defines the relationship to service there as well. All the information, the SOPs get updated regularly, so information on every single update of every single SOP will be in there, and then more notes if needed regarding factors and like the definitions of the factors and all that sort of stuff. An initial health summary, which is those documents. And then, as an example, if you're an AEG, we'll elaborate on your role in defence and talk about what your role entails and how that translates into things like lifting, load carrying, physical exertion tasks. So hopefully that explains the documents in detail of what we're going to submit.
We're just going to go over how to upload claims to MindGov using mine as an example. So in my service, just click the big blue button of Apply Now. You'll see in your folder you'll have 2 documents. We just want to upload those, and at the first stage we want to ignore anything in the subfolders. Basically, you want to just put in the type of pain. Take the date from the document provided. And upload the documents. So it says to enumerate things in the subfolder. Say the next. Other, just put a dash there. It's very breezy, free and breezy at this stage now. Leave always blank. No claim representative, please not me. And then review it, basically want the diagnosis, the date, those 2 documents, and then hit submit claim after that, and you are uploaded.